One more example of thermal decomposition, that is the decomposition of lead nitrate crystals. Lead nitrate means PbNO3 twice. When this colorless crystalline salt on heat, it changes to lead oxide and evolves nitrogen dioxide and oxygen gas. Now in this reaction, the color changes takes place. That is, the color of the lead nitrate changes from white crystal to the product, that is lead oxide, whose color is orange reddish. So you can also write the same example, an example of the color changes. By one we can come to know the chemical reaction has been taken place. So in this type of thermal decomposition, in the presence of heat, the lead nitrate decomposes to form lead oxide, nitrogen dioxide and oxygen. There are also many examples of the thermal decomposition, that is decomposition of potassium chloride also, decomposition of calcium carbonate also, which are given in the Ershan book. You can go through it and note down the points required. Now in this type of reaction, there are certain properties of nitrogen dioxide gas. This gas evolves with the brown fumes. So if the example is given, the question is asked that which gas is evolved with the brown fumes, there you can write the answer, that is nitrogen dioxide. This gas evolved with the brown fumes. This gas is again pungent and this is again the acidic in nature, because when the nitrogen dioxide is dissolved in water, it forms nitric acid, that is HNO3. So nature of nitrogen dioxide is acidic in nature. There are certain properties of oxygen also. Oxygen is a colorless and odorless gas and it burns with flame. Next example is photodecomposition, the type of reaction required light energy to carry out. In this type of reaction, there are two examples, that is the silver bromide and silver chloride. When these two salts are exposed to the sunlight, they changes into the silver and evolve the corresponding gases. For example, when the silver bromide on exposed to the sunlight, it gives silver and evolve bromine gas. Now in this reaction, the color changes takes place. That is, the white color of silver bromide changes to silver color of silver, or we can say the grey color of silver. In this reaction also the color changes takes place. That is, the white color of silver chloride changes to grey due to the formation of silver and evolves the chlorine gas. Now third type of decomposition is called electrolytic decomposition, which is also called as electrolysis. That is, the reaction is carried out in presence of electricity. For example, the decomposition of water into hydrogen and oxygen. This reaction we are going to study in detail with the help of an activity. Let us see electrolysis of water in detail. This is an experimental apparatus required to carry out electrolysis of water. Let us see what are the requirements required for this activity. You will require one beaker or one mug. You will require two electrodes, graphite electrodes, that is cathode and anode. You will also require the wires for the connection, key and 6-volt battery. And you will require the acidified water to carry out the reaction, because we know that the pure water does not conduct electricity. And two test tubes are also kept inverted over the electrodes. Now when the circuit is complete, the acidified water start carrying out the electricity. And by the time the two gases are evolved in this chemical reaction, that is the oxygen gas at the anode electrode and hydrogen at the cathode electrode. Now why this is so? Why hydrogen is evolved at the cathode while oxygen at the anode? Let us see the reaction. When the water molecule decomposes, it forms the 2H plus ion along with one oxygen negative ion. So look at the charge of hydrogen. Its charge is positive. So ultimately it moves towards the opposite charge electrode, that is the cathode. Now look at the number of atoms formed when one water molecule break out. From one water molecule, the two hydrogen ionic species are formed along with one negative oxygen atom. Look at the ratio of these two elements evolved. The hydrogen and oxygens are evolved in a ratio of 2:1. That is, the hydrogen gas evolved in this type of reaction is the amount double than the amount of oxygen gas is getting evolved. They will ask you to write why the amount of gas evolved at one of the electrode is double than the amount of gas evolved at the another electrode. If you go to the NCERT book, in one of the block question, the question is given, that is the why amount of hydrogen evolved in this reaction is double than the amount of oxygen evolved. So student, what answer will you write for this question? That is, the ratio of hydrogen as to oxygen is 2:1. That is, in a one formula unit of water molecule, there are 2 hydrogen atom and 1 oxygen atom. So when one water molecule is split out into oxygen and hydrogen, the 2 hydrogen atoms are formed along with 1 oxygen atom. So that is the reason the amount of hydrogen evolved is double than the amount of oxygen gas evolved in this type of reaction.